In jazz music, there is one chord progression everything is based on: 2, 5, 1. If we want to improvise on jazz, we need to develop a way to handle this 2, 5, 1. In this video, I would like to show you 5 ways to create melodies that work nicely on 2, 5, 1. So what is a 2, 5, 1? In classical music, there is a chord progression we call cadence. In the key of C, we start on the C major chord, which is the 1 chord. Then we go to the 4 chord, which is F major. We go to the 5 chord, or the dominant 7 chord, which is G7, in order to build up tension. And finally release the tension by going back to the 1 chord, C major. So it's basically the idea of tension release. In jazz music, we simply replace the 4 chord F with the 2 chord D minor 7. Why? Pretty easy. Now the root notes move in perfect fifths. What we get is what we call 2, 5, 1. The second, the fifth, and finally the first degree of the major scale. All examples in this video are in the key of B flat, which is quite typical for jazz. That means our 2, 5, 1 is C minor 7, F7, and 2 bars B flat major 7. Now the question is, how can we improvise on that? My name is Markus. You can find the PDFs of the examples of this video on my Patreon account. Maybe the easiest way to play over a 2, 5, 1 is the major pentatonic, in this case the B flat major pentatonic. If you're not familiar with the idea of a major pentatonic, it's basically the same as the G minor pentatonic. Let's hear how this sounds to the backing track. The benefit of the major pentatonic is that it's almost impossible to hit wrong notes. But we're also very limited. So let's add 2 notes, and what we get then is the B flat major scale. The 3 chords C minor 7, F7 and B flat major 7 belong to the, let's call it, family of B flat major. So every note of the B flat major scale fits perfectly to the chord progression. But it's also a little bit more difficult because now we're dealing with 7 notes and it's more complicated to hit the right notes. So what can we do? We need to distinguish between target notes and passing notes. Target notes are the notes of the chords we are playing on. In the case of C minor 7 is C, E flat, G and B flat. So the melody we play is supposed to lead to one of these notes. This is what target note means. But of course we can also play the other 3 notes of the scale, but only to pass through to the target note. This is what passing note means. So as you can see now, it's starting getting a little bit more difficult because we need to learn all the notes of the chords and we need to target them on the fretboard. But luckily there's a shortcut, and this shortcut is called Arpeggios. An arpeggio consists only of chord notes, but we can also play it as a melody. Let's see how we can find the three arpeggios in this position. C minor 7, F7, and B flat major 7. We can play arpeggios all over the fretboard, but I would suggest to keep it simple in the beginning. You can make it more complicated by the time. We want to play jazz music with our heart and our soul, so don't make it too complicated. When we play a note to connect two notes with each other, and this note is not part of the key we're in, we're talking about chromatic. Chromatic notes move in half tones. That means we move one fret to the left or one fret to the right on the fretboard. We can approach chord notes, or in other words arpeggios, with chromatic notes like this. Licks are musical phrases we can use as idioms. If we see jazz as a language or a slang, it's important to use and to know the right expressions. Where do the licks come from? The best thing is to transcribe solos of guitar players or maybe saxophone players you love. I learned so much from Charlie Christian, Barney Kessel, Jim Hall. To me, the most interesting albums are those of the 1950s. When we play the same licks over and over again, we automatically will start to change them. We will create variations. The licks will live their own life in a manner of speaking. So licks aren't static. In jazz, nothing is static. So feel free to create something new and something beautiful. These are two licks I play for almost 30 years. Music is not maths. I admit music theory is not very easy to understand in the first place, and it's not that easy to target the notes on the fretboard. Sometimes I had the idea you have to be good in maths to play jazz music, but this is absolutely not the case. You don't need to understand the entire fretboard in a single moment, so keep it simple and enjoy yourself. And always remember, when we play music, we want to create something beautiful. We just want to enjoy ourselves, we just want to play for ourselves and for the people who listen to us. This is it. Thanks for watching the video. See you next time.